tell everyone is Bruce is running his game today. So if you don't want to listen to me ramble on about Doom or whatever, uh, I think you should go check out Bruce Lombardo's game. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I watch it off and on. I mean, the guy does play for like 8 hours a day, so I pop in and pop out and play Dune, and then don't play Dune and whatever. In other news, Homeboy sent me the tracking number and everything, so my Imperial Sardaukar should be here soonish. And my Harkonnen house troops really only need their base done. And that's going to be easy since I'm just going to use the Games Workshop technical Armageddon dunes. You know what I mean? I could do it like, interior or whatever, but no, I'll just do it desert colored. And I'm just priming a Atreides guy real quick. The Atreides are all like kind of a weird off green for the most part, so that's cool. Let's see. Oh, yeah, chat. It's Vic. No, it's the Crafting Gamer saying hello. Well, hello, Vic, because it's just you and I. Or Crafting Gamer. Damn. What am I doing? What am I thinking? Where has my mind gone? Right? Try this trick and flip it. Yeah. Your brain will collapse and there's nothing in it. And you'll ask yourself, where is my mind? Where is my mind? Where is my mind? Doom, 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 doom. Well, there's William Sova. How you doing, William? Left wants to join. All right. Let's get Left in here.
Hey.
What's up, Left?
Not much.
How you doing, bro?
Good.
Good. What you want to talk about today?
I don't know. I got not much to say.
Well, look, if you're going to co-host this shit with me, you need to, bring your A game.
I get it.
I mean, because it's always you and me.
Well, hey, I baked an apple pie in Vintage Story, so there.
You baked an apple pie in your game?
Yep.
Is that hard?
Kind of, for me, I guess. There's a lot of steps to get to it, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to make an oven, you have to get spelt grain or some kind of grain, turn it into dough, and then finally, if you get like a ripe apple tree, you can pick apples, put them together, put them in an oven.
Yeah, so it sounds more complicated than actually baking an apple pie.
In real life, I guess, because, you just buy the ingredients and put it in the oven.
Right. Or if you're like me, you just buy the
apple pie.
The frozen box of whatever, and put it in the oven and be like, well, here in an hour, we're going to have some apple pie,
Yeah.
But actually for me, it's cherry most of the time.
Another thing I found about apple pie is that it doesn't last very long.
I mean, what, as boosting your food or whatever?
No, as it'll perish really fast if you leave it.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah, I was hoping that after you cook it, it would at least get like a few hundred days. It's like 40 days and it'll perish.
40 days? That's pretty good, yep. Man. I thought you were talking about eat it in the next 2 days or be screwed,
Hey, I'm just saying it's worse than others because most of my food will last a year.
Dude, you live in a world with no refrigeration.
Or
Like
once I
literally
salted,
nothing of yours should last a year.
well, the salted red meat lasts like 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, if you got like some pemmican, that should last you a year or two. But I mean,
I
unless
put
you
them
get
down
it
into a
wet,
cellar.
unless you get it
I
wet.
built like a food cellar. We put it in that in these like storage containers or a shelf, and they last like forever now.
Well, that's something. Nothing in my game lasts.
I've been having to also cull the chickens because they've been eating all the grain. I can't do much.
Yeah.
The
In my
chickens,
game,
too many
every
chickens.
time you use items, they start decaying, and it just goes that way. So don't get super attached to that special freaking sword that you like so much, because
Swords break pretty easily for us too, and
you
get
will be
destroyed.
replacing it. Yeah, but in this game, if you go through certain like dungeons and research stations, you can find special weapons. And the special weapon blueprint allows you to make one of that weapon.
Well,
And what's even worse is, because you don't know the actual blueprint to make the weapon, you can't repair it. So
I didn't think about
just
that.
get to watch
No.
this badass weapon you found slowly degenerate until it becomes broken. And you throw it in the recycler.
When our things break, it just disappears, and then you'll have to remake another one, which is actually kind of a bitch to do.
Yeah, ours, they don't disappear, they become broken.
You know how you made weapons in Minecraft?
Yeah.
Forget all that. That's not how you do it in Vintage Story.
No?
No, you actually have to take it to a forge, hammer it out, and then you have your weapon.
Oh, see, it's easy in Dune because you build a weapon crafting like fabricator, which is all, mechanical and everything.
And it makes it for you.
And you just tell it what you want.
In Vintage Story, you have to just hammer it out slowly on a forge.
I mean, of course, you gotta have all the resources. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
just be like, make me this thing if you ain't got all the parts for the thing.
I also sadly wasted a meteoric iron on making an anvil, and I was hoping that would make it a tier 4, but no, that's only a tier 3.
So the game you're playing sounds like it sounds like Animal Crossing or something.
Yeah, it was actually a mod for Minecraft, but it just like broke off on its own thing, and it's like got its own lore and story and very difficult.
Huh. In gamer news, Notch, creator of Minecraft, said that he is thinking about making another game.
Yeah, well, hey, cool. Hopefully, he'll make something cool like Minecraft was.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what he'll make. I don't know what it'll be like, but I mean, I think he sold Minecraft to
he sold
Microsoft for $300 billion.
he's rich. He doesn't need to do anything.
Yeah, but then I saw him in an article complaining about how he had no friends and like his life sucked. And it's like, well, because you sold Minecraft to EA and you didn't like split any of the money with all the people who had been working on it with you for like years.
Yeah,
so it's like so now they all kind of think you're a jerk, and you're surprised they don't want to be your buddies because they all got fired by Microsoft right out the gate because Microsoft,
yeah, they're about as bad as EA, especially now.
Oh, EA, man. Yeah. EA is where game studios go to die.
I know, and it's sad because a lot of good ones died.
It's like, oh, you made a game that was pretty good. We're going to buy you. And then everything that made your game company decent, we're just going to destroy. It'll be good. You know what I mean? It's like, wait, what? I mean, wasn't it EA that basically destroyed Bethesda? And
Yep.
now instead of putting out, Neverwinter Nights and shit like that, Dragon Age, they're putting out freaking lame ass Dragon Age. It's way before your time, but Neverwinter Nights was badass.
I played Neverwinter.
Yeah, it was pretty badass.
Yeah, I liked it.
And what was cool is you could go online and download like scenarios and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think
So
Bethesda's actually owned by EA. I don't.
yeah, so even if you got like you beat the game or whatever, you could just go online and there were so many creators
Making stuff.
making scenarios and
Yeah.
stuff. Like there was one guy who made Keep on the Borderland, like the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, don't leave Sony out. Yeah, that's true too. And you know what company kind of really pisses me off a lot? If we're going to talk bad about game companies for a minute,
What's that?
Nintendo.
They can be annoying too.
What's up, Quickly? And the main thing that pisses me off about Nintendo is how crazy they are about anyone playing their music.
Yeah,
Like
they are.
if you want to get a video striked, all you gotta do is play like the original Zelda theme for 3 seconds. They'll be on your
Oh,
ass.
I know. They were very
They're like,
litigious on that
and it's
kind of
like,
stuff.
dude,
I remember when
sometimes
they
you just
were.
want to chill out and listen to the Zelda song.
Yeah, I remember them. Trying to copyright strike people for playing their games.
Yeah, it's like I'm
Other
playing the
companies
game
were happy that
online. You're trying to copyright strike me. How you doing, Chris?
other companies were happy to let people do it and was like, yeah, this is just free advertisement. And Nintendo's like, no.
Yeah, it's so weird, It's like, Nintendo, are you all right? I mean, too many early morning power drinks and too many late night sakis. You motherfuckers don't know what you're thinking.
I don't know. It might be because of the legal system there. Why they have
Yeah,
that kind of
maybe the
mentality on
Japanese
mindset.
legal systems. Well, I mean, they did just recently join the civilized world in raising the age of consent from 12. So, you know.
It's like the Japanese copyright system's kind of a little wonky.
I mean, you cannot depict genitalia or hair in any way, but if you want to bang a 12-year-old, that's cool. Knock yourself out on that one.
Yeah, their censorship laws really what caused the whole tentacle porn thing.
Yeah, because the artists were not allowed to depict actual, thingies.
Human anatomy.
So they
That's
were allowed to depict tentacles. Which, I mean, granted, my buddy tried to get me to sit down and watch like something Overlord with him, and it just made me think we should nuke Japan again.
Yeah, that was true. Also, Nintendo did have a ties to the Yakuza at some point too. Yes.
Yeah, and the Yakuza is like, you broke copyright. Cut off your little finger. Like, wait, what? Yeah, that's how we
That,
do it.
that was probably during their little, certain types of hotel and card game days.
But I mean, they're still around, right? Nintendo, they're
Yeah.
my wife bought me one of those mini Nintendos that's got like 90 games on it, including Zelda. And it looks like an NES, except like half the size, maybe. And
Yeah,
you
the
can't
NES
open
Mini
the front gate because all the games are just installed
emulated.
on the drive or whatever. So,
Yeah, it's just a mini emulator put in a box
well,
that
it was
looks
made
like a
by
NES.
Nintendo,
Yeah,
and it's got the same controllers and everything. So
yeah,
there
those were
is,
cool,
I
but
will admit, to the occasional evening spending a few, you know,
I kind of wish I
whatever,
did get like one of
playing
those mini
Excite Bike.
consoles. Oh man, Excite Bike. Although
Yeah, I
I guess
like
I
Excite
remember,
Bike a lot.
I mainly remember the 64 version though.
Yeah, you gotta not overheat, but you know,
Yeah,
make the jumps and yeah.
I did play. Well, no, not really. I never really got to play Excite Bike on the NES. Though the 3DS did have this really cool thing. If you played music on it, you could actually have it where it played it with the Excite Bike in the background.
And then of course, one of the greatest games Nintendo ever made, and they never like remade it really, even though they damn well should have, and that was Monster Rancher.
Monster Rancher.
I think it was Nintendo that did Monster Rancher, and you put a CD in, and depending on the coding on the CD, it would create a monster.
Nope, that
It,
was not Nintendo.
was that Sony? Could have
Yeah, I
been
think that was on
Sony.
the PlayStation.
And then you trained your monster to fight other monsters.
It was basically another, competitor to Pokemon.
It was like Pokemon, but kind of not.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of things like that back then. I mean, Digimon, like you
Yeah,
said, Monster Rancher,
digital monsters. Digimons are the hero or champion.
champions.
Yeah,
Change into digital champions.
Bakroth
I remember that.
encircled Ukrainian troops, morale collapsing. Yeah, I saw that the other day. I was watching an update on what's going on. The Russian breakout is for real. And it's like, as always, the Azov battalion does really pretty well whenever they're thrown in, but at this point, there's not enough of them. So,
Oh,
I mean, it's sad. I wish they would all just lay their weapons down and remember their brothers in Christ. But I guess we'll just wait until Russia runs at least to the. They're going to run at least to the river. And if they stop at the river, then you know that they were just trying to liberate the Donbass region. If they keep going on to Kiev, then goodbye, Ukraine. It was nice while you were around, because the Russians ain't got a long history of giving stuff back. Monster Hat Rancher 1 and 2 has been released on the Switch. Nice. And of course, since I was young and kind of a perv, I would go through all the DVDs until I found the one that would make like the succubus or the little angel, which was like the hot chick. And that would be the monster I would train. Probably not the best monster, but I didn't care. I just wanted to see. Yeah. Egglet McFarty. Egglet McFarty. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, the thing is there's a couple guys that I watched that do news from particularly that part of the world. One of them, I think, is based in Romania, and the other one might be Polish or Bulgarian or something. So, meanwhile, Ukrainsky Brava is saying that, everything's okay. And it's like in the last week, Russian troops have pushed more than 20 kilometers, like almost in every direction from the old line of engagement. And yes, they are encircling major cities. Which, if they encircle Petrovsk and Constanta, whatever, I can't say it. It's not Constantinople. It's like Constanta something. If they encircle those cities, they don't even got to go in. At that point, they're just like, yeah, we'll just keep pickets up. They'll be all right. So, and the DPR made a new turtle tank, which did get destroyed, guys. It did get destroyed. And it only took 60 direct hits from drones before they finally shut it down. And I mean, the miners in the DPR, they'll recover that bitch and have it back on the field in a week. So yeah, the turtle tank rides again. And can you imagine a tank that takes 60 direct hits to take out? That's some crazy ass shit.
Yeah, America probably made one, but he never really saw combat.
What, a turtle tank?
It was nicknamed the Turtle, but
You're talking about that super heavy tank?
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought about it. We made one. We said no freaking way.
It was just not necessary, especially once we did break through what line was it that the Germans were making?
Yeah, that was damn it, I forget, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we were making it for that because we thought it was going to be a challenge, and then it really wasn't. So we were like,
well,
nope,
I mean,
we don't
we
need
made
this
the
anymore.
Pershing as our look at our super heavy tank thing we got over here. It saw like one combat, destroyed a Panther tank. And I mean, you can argue, even though you've drugged me back to World War II, Leth. I mean, the argument with the Pershing was it even worth it? I mean, did it do anything better than a Sherman?
Not
And the
during
answer was no, not really.
not during the World War II, at least. But it
not during World War II, not during Korea. The upgun Shermans in Korea won almost every engagement against T-34 85s. Just freaking smoked them. So that argument everyone wants to make, the best tank of World War II, there's definitive proof
Sherman
that it was the United States Sherman. And I'm not saying that because I'm an American.
Literally everyone used it.
Statistically, it was the best tank.
Literally everyone used it.
And every army used it, even the Germans.
Germans, Italians, Japanese probably captured one.
Deckard, you know it. Left can't get through 15 minutes without bringing up World War II, and he was talking about the Doom Turtle, which they made like one of, and then they're like, then somebody put down the meth pipe and was like, what the are we doing? Even if we built these things, we couldn't transport them. It's like, I mean, we'd have to build a special class of starship or ocean going vessel just to carry this bitch. Yeah, the Lehman Russ tank, that's just a decent medium tank. That's all it is. And if you have the, what are they called? The NTCs or whatever to build one, you can pretty much build them out of anything. And their design is such that they can be powered by pretty much any kind of engine. Like whatever you want.
The T-28's most significant history wasn't even during World War II anyway.
Yeah, but we're talking about the Lehman Russ.
Oh, no.
That's 40K. That is the Imperial Guards.
Hey, gents.
It's their main battle tank, but it's a medium tank, really. And what makes it special is the design of the tank is designed in a way that if you're on a world that's, say, at 1920s technology, you can build a Lehman Russ tank powered by steam engine. If you're at our level of technology, you can build a Lehman Russ tank powered by diesel. If you're at another level, well, they call it Prometheum, but you know, if you're at a higher level, you could have like an atomic powered Lehman Russ tank or some shit. You know what I mean? It's like the blueprints are so. But that was the thing when humanity during the dark age of technology realized that civilization was going down. They put all of their knowledge on these databases and they hid them away in the hopes that at some point in the future humans would find them, which they did. And they don't understand.
You're forgetting the most ridiculous tank of World War II, the mouse.
The mouse.
Yeah.
You mean
Size of a building.
Well, it was powered by 2 submarine engines linked together through the transmission. And they never really got one built. And if they even had got one built, it wouldn't have mattered.
Achieving a mileage of a gas efficiency of about a mile per, or about a car length per fucking gallon.
Yeah, during a time when the Germans were doing everything they could to try to convert coal to gas.
What is it with dictators and crazy super weapons?
No.
They all do it. They all come up with, oh, we'll just invent some like insane fucking murder machine.
Mustache Man's ideal was he was kind of relying on a miracle like what happened with Frederick the Great. When he defeated the Russians, it was like a real kind of brilliant battle, whatever. But no, that never came.
Yeah, I mean, he fucked everything up. What was I'm blanking the name. The jet fighter they came up with, which they would have had 2 years earlier, but he wanted it reworked as a bomber.
Yeah, that's the Messerschmitt 262.
Yeah. And then there was all kinds of they potentially could have gotten the fucking bomb first, but he's like, no, go right for the hydrogen bomb, which put them back like 10
Abrams
years.
is my beloved Deckard. So we're going to talk about tanks a little bit. I already told you guys what happened with the Abrams. The Army spent billions of dollars trying to replace it and then realized there was no way to improve it other than like minor bullshit. So the new Abrams that's coming out, which is like the Mark V or some shit, has got like PDF, point defense weaponry and laser bullshit and can shoot down drones. And
I think the Abrams is a terrible tank. I'll tell you why. It's too damn big, heavy, and expensive for what it actually does. Yeah, you can get it to go like 100 fucking miles an hour, but you are on a track. You are never, ever, ever going to be in a situation where you have to go half that.
Yeah, the thing with the new one, the Mark V, they're getting rid of the turbine engine and replacing it with this new model.
Oh, they should. That was absurd. That was absurd putting that engine in that.
Which will make it so much easier to take care of in the field and everything like that. But supposedly, and this is all, top secret shit or shit I heard from watching Habitual Line Crosser, it's going to have a PDW on it. That's a laser with a 360, detection range. And so if it detects a drone coming, it's just going to melt that bitch.
And I think tanks aren't even really that useful anymore. I mean, how many situations do they even really come into anymore?
I'll tell you
what. I loved my tanks.
Yeah, I don't think they're yet obsolete.
We start taking fire from a building. I'm not kicking that door in.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for LT to call a tank up to put a couple 120 HEs in that.
But is there anything it can do that just a couple decent armored vehicles couldn't do?
Yes.
I mean, yes,
Yeah,
the
it can rip
Striker
through
was
a
a
lot of
disaster,
shit.
but
You know, an M1A1 buttoned up can survive a nuclear attack unless it's directly in the kill zone and just keep trucking. I mean, they are completely NBC sealed. You know, so if we give them an engine that actually gets decent mileage and can run off of biodiesel, them bastards could run forever. But yeah, the problem is we don't have the material technology to improve on it.
Nope.
We
well, a
would
lot
need
of things have been
like
like
some
that.
kind of weird,
Well,
carbon.
yeah, some things top
tube.
out. Look at like small
Carbon
arms.
fiber, like some
The
kind of
1911 and
faucet
the
stuff.
Browning High Power are still among the best like guns you can get. They're over 100 years old at this point.
I
Look
think you
at
can.
every car in existence.
They've
They
only
are
gotten
internal
shittier the
combustion
last few
engines.
decades.
Their engine is barely any different than the one that was in the Model T Ford. They just
Yeah.
stacked some other shit on it.
Yeah, the
Yep.
technology is topped out. They've just
It's
little
we've
refinements.
reached a technological dead end when it comes to that. I mean, one guy tried to change it with his rotary engine, and I think it was the old Mazdas had that rotary engine in them. And they're supposedly really wonderful engines as long as you take care of them. They'll run forever. But
Yeah, Model T.
the
Hey,
Bradley is a tank. I don't care what, sir. The Bradley is an infantry fighting vehicle. What makes it not a tank is that it has a chain gun instead of a main gun, and most importantly, it carries infantrymen.
No, I was always very confused on the difference between like tanks and tank destroyers. Because I mean,
Tank
usually
destroyers,
tank destroyers didn't have turrets, but some of them did. Some tanks didn't. I mean, I
tank
guess
destroyers
just
in World War II were just designed to be super fast and have a gun that could go through anything. But they didn't have like decent armor at all. They were never supposed to engage enemy armor. Their job was to rip ass up, kill some shit, and get the F out of Dodge. You know what I mean? That was literally their whole plan right there. We're going to rip ass in, blow some shit up. I mean, like the British had a tank destroyer called the Valentine, and they actually built it backwards so that the
that's
gun
Archer.
was
Yeah.
facing the rear so
I
that
thought
it could go in reverse faster than it could forward.
I'm wondering if the Archer was just a nickname for it then.
So yeah, that is the. But if you look at the Wolverine and the M10 and all that American AT things, which for some reason they allowed black guys to be the crew members of, even when they wouldn't let them be tankers. I don't know what was up with that, but they have like no armor, a really fast engine. They're like horsepower to weight ratio is crazy, and then they have like the best gun you can put on that bitch, and a lot of them are open topped. So you're just chilling, man, in a convertible, just and they're really fast. They just whip up and they're like, "Oh, look, a tiger! Boom, it's dead. Now I'm gone." I mean, look at the number one killer on the German side, the Stug. The Stug anti-tank, whatever the hell you call it, destroyed more enemy vehicles than any other German vehicle combined.
Yep.
Like you can combine them all together in the Stug F8, Stug 3 F8, the Stug
James,
3.
You got to respect the Stug life.
Yeah, that whole line of Stugs, 100% had them all beat.
The
But
Finnish even used
wouldn't
those.
Look at it though. Oh, there's my brother-in-law. Got your haircut. You got your haircut.
Even the Finnish used the Stugs, and they called them, I think, the Assault 3
Nice.
for some reason.
But yeah, I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say it a million times. I mean, when you're dealing with an armored vehicle that's like 5 feet tall, and it's got probably, if not the best gun, top 5 gun, the 7.5 L86 or whatever it was with the high velocity armor piercing rounds. I mean, you could hide that thing behind a rose bush
Yeah.
and then take out any allied tank that exists at 2,000 yards. You know what I mean? And then all you do is just chuck that bitch in reverse and move to the next area, hide it in a barn. I mean, if you've ever seen one in real life, they're tiny.
Yep.
They're little tanks. But yeah, everybody always screams about the 88 millimeter gun, but the 75
that
high
good.
velocity was better.
Yeah, it was.
Overall, it was a better gun.
The Long 88 was not that good of a gun.
It got the legend because of that battle in France when the AA unit turned their frickin' flak 88s down to take out the French heavy tanks.
Yep.
And it gave it like the Riz, you know what I mean? And after that, the Germans just fell in love with it for some reason. But the 75 high velocity that they were putting on your late model Panzer IVs was better. Is a lighter gun. It had better trajectory and could go through just about as much armor as you'd ever need it to. So,
but what about the mighty Buffalo, the tank boat they tried to make?
I'll tell you what, one thing about World War II, as much as I'm not a huge fan of talking about it overall, is them bastards would come up with anything.
Yeah.
Like the English had Sherman tanks that had like freaking inflatable rafts built to them, and you know, tanks that shot fire and carried behind them wagons full of gasoline and shit. I mean, it was like you just had people out there being like, this looks good, tack it on, man.
Yeah,
Bring
the
me
gasoline
the
tank. You're talking about the Crocodile, which was
the Crocodile, which I have to admit would be terrifying. If you're a Wehrmacht soldier and you see the Crocodile heading towards your bunker, it's time to evacuate that bunker. Because that thing is going to roast you. You are going to be dead for sure, 100%. And nothing is going to save you on that, you know? Like, unless
everybody
God
was
decides
thinking
to
some
reach down
strange stuff in the World War II times.
I think that's why so many people are obsessed with World War II.
Yeah, probably.
Because when you look at the catalog of armored vehicles in World War II on both sides, it's hundreds of distinct things. It's like every army had 50 tanks. You know what I mean? And then you look at Desert Storm. We got M1A1s. They've got T55s, maybe a couple T70s, whatever.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
You know, it's like
it's been all streamlined and you know, just
so people like World War II because of all of the they built that submarine, but unfortunately a Yankee saw him coming and shot at it, which they say might have cracked one of the viewpoint ports. And then when the explosive device went off, which of course blew that Yankee frigate in half, they didn't factor as well as maybe they should have scientifically for the shockwave. And down they went.
Yeah, they're not. The other thing people don't realize, that thing sank 3 times.
Yeah, they killed more Confederates than the Northern soldiers.
It killed what I think one of the crews largely got it. It sank twice just testing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the crew got out one time, and I think the other time they didn't. They fished the thing out and just okay, get rid of these. We need more volunteers,
guys.
Oh man, the Pine Creek
kind of technology like that. You know,
there was an attempt at a submarine during the American Revolution.
Yeah, it was like a barrel.
Yeah, it was a big barrel. And he actually managed to get up to the British ship, but because they had the copper sheathing inside, he wasn't able to drill through it.
Right.
Because it kept like pushing the thing back.
Well, that was a thing a lot of British, all of the sailing ships of the era would do, is they would plate the hulls with copper because barnacles and apparently the ocean's full of these worms that eat wood. have a hard time with copper. So it would be copper about the thickness of a sheet of paper, but they would line these things, and it would help protect their ships from getting ate up by all the horrible shit that is in the ocean just waiting to eat stuff up.
Fair.
And how do I know this? Because I played Pirates. And if you ever played Pirates and you had enough money, you could go to some ports and you could pay to have your ship get a copper lined hull, which would make it handle better and also, protect you from barnacles and shit. And then if you were extra cool, you could get like triple bunks so that your ship could carry even more men. Maybe hire a really good cook, and that would keep the morale on the ship up. So they are a lot less likely to mutiny on you.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a Caribbean, like 16th century game at some point.
Dude, I love Sid Meier's Pirates. Was like my happy place when I was
And mine
young.
was Uncharted Waters.
You should check out Caribbean Legend. It was terrible when it first came out, but they've kept working on it. It's really, really solid now.
Maybe I should try.
It's like an offshoot. They did a new Sea Dogs, and then they made it enough improvements of it. They basically split it off and made it a game, but they've really, really improved it.
You can just see behind me in the upper, my right, your left corner, all of my ships from Blood and Plunder. I've got like a frigate,
I think
a
that
bar,
I
a
think
couple
Black
of
Flag is kind of overrated.
sloops. They're different though. Like I've got a Bermuda. I've got a whatever the name of the other one is. I've got a flute, because you have to have a flute if anybody's playing Dutch. That's a given. And it's all for, that game Blood and Plunder, which is, if you had a friend to play with, amazing game. It really is. It's a good game.
The Dutch. We ruled the world for 10 minutes and then bought flowers and destroyed our economy.
Yeah, pretty much. We come from a tiny little country no one has ever heard of, and yet that's a good thing, because if people knew how cruel we were, it's like the shit King Leopold did in Central Africa and the Congo makes any other dictator look like Candyland.
The Belgians made a serious go at worst rulers on earth.
They sure did. It's like, you didn't pick enough rubber today? Well, we'll just cut your arms off then. Like, wait, what?
I have never tried Black Flag. I refuse to play any more Assassin's Creed games. I'm done with it.
I've heard that
do with them.
It has good sea battles in it, though.
Why don't they just stop
but
hacking the Assassin's Creed thing even onto things? It doesn't even seem to like belong there anymore. Just remove that crap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to make as much money as they can. So,
the last one I finished,
and I'm not disagreeing with you. I completely respect your right to tell the makers of Assassin's Creed to go pound sand.
I mean, look at their latest Assassin's Creed with the Black Samurai. Yeah, that's what Assassin's Creed needed.
And the Japanese threw a fit about that. You don't mess with their history.
Yeah, they were pretty mad because
it doesn't even make sense for the game, because you're supposed to be an assassin. How is being a samurai an assassin?
It's even worse than that. The guy who wrote the story about Yasuke, who is an English guy, he wrote the book in English and Japanese. And if you translate the Japanese book to English, it's totally different than the English book. Because in the English book, he was talking about what a great friend Yasuke was to the shogun and all this bullshit.
Yeah,
but in the Japanese book, he didn't say any of that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like...
Yeah, he was like a household servant. He was not a freaking samurai.
More than anything, he was something that he could show off to other people. he was a curiosity. You know, come check out my black guy. You know, have you ever seen one of these before? Because I got one. And I guess like how the English got crazy about pineapples back during Cromwell's time. That's how they were about Yosky. You know, they're all like, oh shit, so-and-so's got a black guy. I need to get me a black guy. You know? Like it become like, I don't know, some kind of social status thing. But it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Assassin's Creed, you know, it's whatever. I can say the new Pirates, and by the new Pirates, I mean the version that came out like 20 years ago, was really good. The dancing part was a little bit frustrating when you have to like try to woo the governor's daughter and you're doing waltzes.
The first couple are okay. Then they just get stupid after a bit, especially without the prompts, because those go away after like a couple.
Yeah, and then you're like trying to watch her and she's doing this and that. And it's like, bitch, I'm a pirate.
You know what franchise did the pirate thing better than Assassin's Creed?
Every other franchise, literally.
Yeah, but I was gonna specifically say Yakuza.
Oh.
Because Yakuza did the pirate thing.
But it's so weird, like games today, the graphics are so amazing.
And the games are such shit.
And the games suck.
Well, it's because they focus more on graphics than giving you actual content. Every game is as shallow as a kiddie pool.
Well, right now I'm like 400 hours in and I am loving Doom.
That's fair. Not every time, but vast majority of games. Have you
noticed? No, I'm not disagreeing with you. That wasn't a counterpoint. Doom's got pretty okay graphics when you consider it's a desert. You know? But there's just so much to do. And there's hidden missions and hidden research centers, and you know, you can be out there trying to harvest shit up so that you can make stuff, or hell, you can go out and kill the other players if you want. I mean, even though the Emperor has enforced the rule of Canley within Haga Basin, there ain't nobody out in the deep desert to tell on you. You know what I'm saying? And that shit can get rough quick, especially if a big guild's out in the deep desert, just, you know, in a mood.
Yeah, the Steiner Scout Squad philosophy. If there are no survivors, it's still stealth.
Yeah.
That just makes me think of something. It's like, wait, we're both the same. You just use light stealth. I use heavy stealth. And it's like, how is that stealth? Because if nobody's alive to see you, they didn't see you.
There's like certain rules, like if you're in the deep desert and you see a spice bloom, before you even dream of landing and trying to harvest any spice, look up. If you see a couple of ornithopters in vulture mode just kind of gliding around, do not land. Because as soon as you land and you're out of your ornithopter, they're going to nuke your ass with missiles. And then you'll be dead. And that'll be that. So, you know, if you see them up there gliding, your best bet is to kind of glide in a circle around the spice yourself. And eventually, if one of them lands and then the other one lands and then you land and all of you get outside of the thopter together, kind of, then you know, okay, they're not looking to kill anybody. And then you harvest it as quick as you can before the worm shows up to eat all of you. But yeah, anywhere you go, before you get out of your ornithopter, look up. If there's a couple gliding around up there, nope. Don't be a fool, because they'll get you. Actually, that's the biggest bit of advice I have for Dune. Look up. Even in caves, look up. Always look up, because in some of the caves there's hidden treasure. If you just look up, you'll see it, and there's also bombs and shit in there. If you look up, maybe you'll see it. But
yeah, that's the other thing with games now, just endless cutscenes. They're like interactive movies.
yeah, I hate cutscenes. Now, in this one I'm playing, I have two favorite games right now. Valheim, which is just Viking Minecraft, and Doom. And they do have one thing I really like in Doom, though, and that is really kind of adult lines of discussion. So, like, if you're talking to an NPC, like one NPC, I started out getting her drugs that she needed because she was basically a heroin junkie. But by the end of this huge long thing, I ended up getting her off of the drugs, which was not easy. But then I go visit her again and she's all cleaned up and she's, doesn't look like, a meth whore anymore. And you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. It's like when you play the Doom game, the first thing you have to realize is everyone you encounter on that planet is a drug addict. Just for being there. Like as soon as you're there for more than a couple of weeks, if you're not wearing a respirator, guess what?
You're a drug addict.
You're a drug addict because you're breathing that spice in, and over time, like my character's already got the blue and blue eyes, so I'm freaking done. I could leave Arrakis, but if I don't have enough money to buy melange,
Be right back, baby. I'm taking Wayne to go drop off his car.
okay, bye, my love. So yeah, for a
Do you think I should look for to ride with me, or I should probably leave him here, right?
I don't know. I think he might like going with you. Look, did you see that look? The dog was looking at her and it was doing that thing where like its lower lip was going.
So I guess it's Seattle.
Worse than Seattle. It would be like Seattle if Seattle was made out of fentanyl. That's basically Arrakis.
Well, Vintage Story, they recently updated it to have a boat.
And they got one thing super right too. When the spice blooms happen, and believe me, if you're anywhere near them, you're probably going to die because it's like the equivalent of a massive bomb going off. When the spice finally lands on the sand, it is brilliant sapphire blue. But once you convert it to the spice melange, it turns into a cinnamon color. But, according to the book, Los Angeles, yeah,
there.
pretty much. And it's not enough that people are addicted to spice, which everyone is, but there's lots of other drugs that people are addicted to. Like lots. Like when I talked to Peter DeVries, he's super addicted to some kind of freaking drug, Sucot or something like that. And it's like, so the game is very adult, but it's Funcom. They make Conan. And in Conan, you can literally beat up and enslave big-breasted women and make them dance naked on your dining room table. So, I mean, forget the whole, they're misogynists. They don't care. And in this game, it's kind of like that, too. There's a lot of shit going down. And some of it is of a very adult nature. Java 70, you're a libtard? I'm sorry, bro. But who knows? When you get older and a mortgage and stuff, you'll probably change. But yeah, so that's the game. I can't talk positively enough about it, really. It's just, log on, talk to my buddies, run around. I mean, since I finally built my ornithopter, it's like so great being able to just A proud libtard. Yeah, that's like saying you're a proud freaking retard. You know, that's like coming on the channel and being like, I have an IQ of 75 and I'm proud. A libtard redneck. Yeah, that don't make any sense, bro. But maybe your grandma dropped you on your head, bless your heart. Anyway, what do you know about Dune? Or are you just here to spam this shit until I ban you because you're not adding to the conversation? Because I will do that. I've gotten really short-tempered with the idiots from Twitch. I mean, shouldn't you be over there talking about genocides or some shit on Hassan's channel? I mean, you got to come over here and talk shit. I mean, we're just over here talking about video games, man. Remember when that was what Twitch was all about? Instead of retards flying the retard flag and being proud
That was
of it.
a long time ago, James. Long time ago.
Good times, though, right? When you used to be able to watch people play video games and comment and shit. Man.
Never watched Twitch, I don't think.
No, me neither. I was more of a
Back in
YouTube
the
guy.
day, Twitch was actually good before the female.
I mean, it was definitely better. I just never did really watch it that much.
Yeah, it was good. But that was before the female, like, infiltration. And then you got the, you know, look down my shirt while I talk about bullshit and you give me all your money. And
it turned into
then the hot tub meta. And it's always
it turned into softcore porn.
Yeah, then half of Twitch just becomes softcore porn. And even some people who were supposed to be like respectable weren't. Like way back in the day, there was that one girl with the glasses. I forget her name, but she was like the sex positive feminist that all the feminist men were hoping to sleep with at a convention or something. And when she set up her thing on Twitch, she always set the camera up like this. You know what I mean? And she had a pretty nice set of milkers, you know. So she would be talking all this feminist shit, but at the meantime, she'd be wearing some low-cut, tight top so that everybody could see the milkers. And it's like, yeah, I don't know if those two things go together. And then she went to some, you know, Atheism Plus thing and got railed out by some other dude. Atheism Plus died, you know. I think it was when that one crazy bitch accused somebody of something because he asked her for some coffee or something. Like they're in an elevator and he was like, would you like to come up to my room for coffee? And she said no. So you think
that Jessica Watson or whatever.
Oh, no, that's not the end of that. She's immediately going to get on social media and accuse the guy trying to, you know, essay her or some shit. It's like, what? Me personally, as an Orthodox Christian, I love seeing atheism burn itself to the ground. And I used to watch Thunderfoot. Not that I ever thought he was right about anything. They get thousands. Java, you are a redneck because that number is like way low, brother. You need to bring that number up. Amarath is making like, I don't know, $30 million a fucking month or something.
Yeah.
And she's married to this weeny, tiny little Asian dude that she says forces her to stream because he don't work or anything and he wants that money. So it's like you're a hot redhead. You're married to a 5'0" Asian dude who doesn't work and forces you to show your shit online for money. And you're still with him? Like, what the fuck is going on here? What state are you in? It doesn't matter what state I'm in, man. For me, it will only always matter what state I grew up in. Because I've been in a lot of states. But I grew up in Eastern Kentucky. And to be perfectly honest, we don't talk a lot of politics generally. You know, when we can help it, unless something stupid happens. Yeah, yeah. That whole thing, it was like when the atheists started getting all like buddy buddy with the feminists, like feminist frequency and shit like that. And it was like, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. But can't get more America than that. I think the most American place in America would have to be like Philadelphia. But maybe it's because that's where like Ben Franklin was from. You know, the city of brotherly love. But hey, whatever. You're an atheist? One thing I'll tell you, Java, just because you're an atheist doesn't mean you're right. So I'd be careful with being too blasphemous, because you could be wrong. And it's like the old thing that C.S. Lewis, I think it was, told J.R.R. Tolkien. If I'm right, everything's awesome for me, but you are going to hell. And if you're right, it doesn't matter. So spin that wheel, baby. Spin that wheel. Pack a fat lip. Oh, are you talking about doing dip? Nah, I'm straight edge. I don't do any of that. But so I've got these. I'm going to have to neaten up the black armor because dry brushing the heads to get them to look better. I got a little bit of that super pale flesh color on their black armor. But I think
Trench Crusade?
That's a Harkonnen soldier.
Oh, okay.
We are seriously, it's seriously looking like we might actually play a game of Dune at some point in the nearest future. Yeah, Pascal's wager is like basically the whole deal, you know. It's
Actually, technically, that's not what he was going for whenever Pascal came up with Pascal's wager. He was not a big reason guy. And many people just kind of misunderstand that and think that he's, doing that.
I have a question left.
Yeah.
When you said, actually, did you push your glasses up on the bridge of your nose at the same time?
Yes.
Because that was pretty nerdy, son.
Well.
Yeah. Actually, what Pascal was thinking.
Actually, what Pascal meant was, anyway,
F Pascal. He come from that generation when all the French philosophers were effing everything up.
Yep. He was actually going to.
This is like, shut up, you French philosophers. All you do is start problems. Nobody cares.
Weren't most of them syphilitic anyway, right?
I know one of them got so jacked up drinking absinthe that like he started saving his urine because he thought it was very valuable. Because apparently drinking poison and doing opium will over time make you crazy.
Wow, who's this fucking charmer?
I don't know. Don't care.
I don't know. I'm getting bored of him. I told him that we don't want to talk about all that shit. We were talking about Dune and pirates and shit, but he's a Twitch guy, you know.
Twitch. Is there a fucking brain cell on Twitch? Like at this point in time, are they all dying of loneliness? Like what the fuck?
I don't think there is. I mean, okay, no. The other day, a dude hit me up from Twitch. He was from Spain, and he was totally cool.
That is true. That did happen.
That's an exception. He was 100% cool. He just wanted to show up. He's like, "Oh, you're painting that shit? That's awesome. Whatever." He said a couple things about how they're mad about immigration in Spain.
Yeah,
I said, well, it seems to be the flavor du jour of everywhere. And then he kind of went on his way, he just popped in to say, hey. And so there are a few good ones on Twitch, but few and far between, bro.
Shockingly, like out of all the social media clubs you can be a part of, YouTube used to be the most toxic, and now it's the least toxic of the lot of them. You know, like the most toxic, it's a straight up fucking tie between X and Reddit. Like, which one can be more toxic, please? You know.
Well, I mean,
I think I'm missing a couple, but hey,
X basically says, "Hey, be as mean as you want. We don't care."
Yeah, no, but that's the thing is we don't need that. in
And
our
then
society.
Twitch is all like, "Be as mean as you want, but you have to be on the left, or we'll ban you forever."
You got to be on the side we're on. So I went to see Superman.
Tell me
And,
about it.
I quite enjoyed it. It was
Okay.
it was quite a good movie. And one of the things I liked about the movie was it was about hope and positive things. So naturally, people are tearing it apart all over the internet. As you know, the left are calling it right wing propaganda, the right are calling it left wing propaganda. Like, everybody's just fucking freaking out. It's like there's a message there, guys, and the message is don't be assholes and just maybe be nicer to people, and the world will be a better fucking place all of a sudden. You know, it's a good movie.
They don't know.
The girl who plays Lois Lane is probably the best Lois Lane ever. Because she does one thing I've never seen an actress be able to do with Lois Lane, which is play her as a strong, independent, fiercely driven woman and not have her act like a bitch or a cunt the entire time. Like, it's amazing. She's actually likable. You know what I mean?
So they managed to write a woman that was career driven, but wasn't trying to be a man.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tumblr sucked, but then they ended Tumblr, and all the Tumblr people fled to Twitch and
Well, once they couldn't show their tits on Tumblr anymore, they went to Instagram and fucking Reddit,
Yeah, Instagram's a new thing. I've had people tell me I need to get on that Instagram thing, and I'm like, nope.
I remember it was a fucking photo filter program.
There's nothing on Instagram that I want to be involved in.
Yeah,
No,
I was
nothing.
pulled into getting into Facebook, and I regret that.
Well, I've had
I like
Facebook since Facebook existed.
Me too.
And I don't know, sometimes maybe I want to watch four midgets in bikinis dance by the
and the one thing I like about Facebook is when you're on Twitter or X, it's like a public forum. If you're on Reddit, if you don't meet what the mods' political and social views are, they're never going to, they treat you like shit. On Facebook, people tend to treat your stream or your home, your whatever the fuck we call it, it's like your living room, and people tend to try and be a little more respectful in your living room.
Yeah, people usually don't join your channel to try and shit all over everything.
Yeah, they don't friend you just to be an asshole. You know what I mean?
They'll be like, they'll read what you're doing, and they'll be like, yeah, I'm not interested, and move on.
Exactly.
I just was never really interested in Facebook, I guess. It's just...
Well, you got to have
I was
friends
on it for a while and left.
You got to have friends.
James Gunn is into
I
some
had friends in high
shit,
school.
William,
Just
but he
really...
also directed Star-Lord, which was probably the best Marvel movie
Guardians of the Galaxy
in decades. But yeah, I think he's into all that spirit cooking and all that weird ass shit that those people get into.
LA fucks you up, man.
Yeah, LA is. There was a movie actually I watched about this woman who wanted to be an actress, and she finally got a call. And this old man said that he would make her famous if she'd give him a blowjob. And she said no and left. But then she came back and she said, I'll do it. And he's like, it's too late for that. And now you got to do the whole thing, right? So he slept with her. She left. And then she started throwing up and her hair started falling out. And she ended up killing all of her friends. And they buried her. And then when they dug her up, she was super beautiful and they made her a movie star, but she had this pentacle on her palm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was this whole movie about basically how all movie stars are Satanists.
Really?
Really? I wouldn't lie to you, Bear.
Really? I can't say in my 20 plus years in the film industry I ever saw anything untowards or evil.
So, yep.
But Superman's good. It's actually a decent watch. You'll feel good at the end of it. You won't feel fucking defeated by the world. You won't feel like, cynical. You'll feel like, oh, that was really good. And it's got just the right amount of James Gunn goofy humor in it to make it like enjoyable and charming for kids. You know what I mean?
Is he the one who did those that Monster Squad and
No, that's good. Monster Squad and Night of the Creeps and all that. That's a whole other guy. That's that guy. I think he's dead.
Like
now.
I said, he did
Guardians of the Galaxy. He did the last Suicide Squad film. He does the Peacemaker, or the Peacekeeper TV. Peacemaker TV show.
Peacekeeper. Oh my god.
He has a cameo. He has a cameo in Superman. Actually, it's pretty funny.
I mean, he is right. He does keep the peace.
I will end violence if I have to kill every man, woman, and child to do it.
And he means it.
Yeah.
It turns out he's not even messing around.
Well, no,
so glad we have a good Superman movie, because the last one, even though I really liked the actor they had playing Superman,
Henry Cavill was great, but yeah, Snyder
trying to make it super dark and kids, the bus going into a river and all that. It's like, dude, that's not why anyone ever read a Superman comic book.
No, but that's the thing. Zack Snyder never read a Superman comic. Zack Snyder's the guy who says, "Why doesn't Batman just shoot the Joker?" Like that's the kind of guy he is. You know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense. But no, and I'll tell you right now, Crypto, the dog,
Right?
steals the fucking movie.
Wow.
Like
that
every
seems
time,
a little goofy having the superhero dog.
dude. This is all Silver Age. This entire movie is based around the old 50s and 60s Superman comics. Like that's the point. It's based around the time when Superman was,
A little goofy, but
A little
a little more goofy, a
What's
little more
up,
fun.
Well, okay. Look at, again, I'm going to reference Guardians of the Galaxy. Part of the fun of Guardians of the Galaxy was the goofy shit.
Yeah.
Like when he's walking through the cave and he like drop kicks that rat thing, and then it starts playing "Come and Get Your Love" out of the blue.
Using the rat as a microphone,
like,
no less.
like fucking with all the little monsters and shit.
And then
I mean,
the dude
I
shows
am
up
so
and
and
it's like,
so, the accuser, and they're like, "Who?"
no, it's when he shows up and he's like, "I'm Star-Lord," and the guy goes, "Who?" He's like, "Star-Lord, come on, man." It's just, it's good, it's fun. But no, Crypto's really funny. Like he
Didn't he
steals.
name his ship after Alyssa Milano?
Yes.
It's like, I know what we got to do now. It's a dance off.
Hey, Shark, what's up, man?
The whole time, what's his name? The accuser's just sitting there
Ronan.
looking at him like,
Ronan the accuser is just like, what the fuck is going on?
"What the fuck is this guy doing?"
But I mean, that's the thing, right? Like superheroes can have lightheartedness to them without being mocked.
They
That's
should.
something that Ben Edlund figured out when he did The Tick, right? He understood you can respect the superhero and still have some fun with them and still laugh at some of the goofiness. Mystery Men, same fucking thing, Great movie, doesn't treat the characters like assholes, but has a good laugh at them the entire
Well, you
time.
forgot the big one. Deadpool.
No, Deadpool, no. Deadpool is fourth wall breaking.
Deadpool is
and
just campy and goofy as shit.
Yeah, it is and it isn't. I hate Deadpool.
I mean, yeah, so maybe he gets pegged by the Greek chick. But when he's not doing that,
She's Brazilian, dude. She's not
with
Greek.
His scimitar or his
She's not
katanas
Greek.
and
She's
shit.
Brazilian.
Yeah, on National Women's Day. And he's all like,
Doc, what's wrong? You seem like you're sad today.
Well, no, I'm just tired and a little sore. Been working way too much.
Getting pegged a little too much. I understand. It's the way it goes.
No, they're
And
not
Lex
paying
tried
me
to
too
drag
much.
us
They're
into
very
a World
careful
War
about
II
that.
conversation.
No, I didn't say paid. I said pegged.
Oh.
Like that's something all men must get used to these days, is that the universe is a general bitch is trying to peg us as often as she can. And she's got a cosmic fucking strap on.
Down.
Exactly. Dun, dun. You know what, though? I feel it's more like we're stuck in the middle with you these days.
Yeah, but that was the dude dancing around like a sociopath, dousing a guy in gasoline
And that's kind of how life feels these days.
after cutting his ear off with a straight razor.
And singing into it. And that's exactly what life feels like these days.
That dude was not right.
Hey,
but
quickly, what's
but
up,
that
man?
scene did make Stiller's Will famous again for a while.
Oh,
And which means Jerry Rafferty famous again for a while.
you know what the worst part is I grew up. I was born in 1970, so I grew up during the 70s. I never fucking heard of Jerry Rafferty until the 90s. And then Baker Street. I'm like, oh, I know that song. Oh, okay, so that's Jerry Rafferty. Oh,
Or
okay.
Straight Down the Line or
And
whatever.
you know
Butterflies.
he may or may not be Liv Tyler's dad.
Do you know that Michael McDonald's big break into becoming a musician was he got called in to play keyboards for Steely Dan
Are you singing
when he was really young.
Wow, good.
And apparently the guy said, look, you got about an hour. Get here. We want to get this shit going. So he said he loaded all of his shit up into his like Mazda or whatever he had, hauled ass over there, met the guys. They hit it off pretty good. And they started doing songs. And he said what they didn't know is like he was a huge fan of them. And by the end of it, he was in the band, and he was there for a little while. And then, of course, he got into his own stuff with like, who is it?
Mike McDonald.
China Grove.
China Grove. Oh, it's not the Doobie Brothers.
Doobie Brothers.
Yeah. It's the Doobie
Brothers. You had like Michael McDonald and the other guy, what was his name, was in there. And they did. And what's funny is the Doobie Brothers had black dudes in the band, but all the really high pitched, soulful shit was this white dude with a beard.
Mike McDonald.
Yeah.
We're
not in love anymore.
I absolutely. There's some of those 70s bands, man. They're just so fucking good.
I like Steely Dan because they slapped down John Lennon.
Oh yeah, that's what a fool would say. Is the name of the song. John Lennon came out with Imagine. They came out with Only a Fool Would Say That.
Yeah.
And it goes point by point on everything he says and says, you're a fucking idiot. But then again, Steely Dan, like I told you guys, they hated the hippies. Yep. They hated the hippie movement. They were not part of that shit. They were beatniks and shit. All they want to do is drink tequila, do coke, and bang 19-year-olds.
Well, and this is the fine Colombian,
right? I mean, they tell you what they're doing.
Hey, 19. So it's like, what?
No, we can't talk at all. Yeah,
let's read the Franklin.
Your number on your way on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, man. But like that's the thing. There was some fun stuff going on in the 70s, but the problem is things like disco and Alan Alda. We're dominating the fucking airwaves and the TVs, but there was some really fun shit, like fucking Dr. Hook, man. I fucking love Dr. Hook.
I mean, I like Dion. Don't get me wrong, I like Dion, but Dr. Hook's version of Season of the Witch, I think I like better.
No, I like. It's not Dion. It's what the fuck's his name?
Donovan.
I like Donovan's Season of the Witch. It's still my favorite one.
But it's a good Season of the Witch, but I don't know, something about that bluesy Dr. Hook, when I look out my window,
it's very good, man.
It's like, I'm feeling this.
Okay, Deckard, have you seen the videos of black people hearing Black Betty by Ram Jam for the first time on YouTube?
Oh, they love it.
Fuck you, but they're hilarious because they're all like, that's white guys? Right away, they're just like, what the fuck? And then when they see the video, they're like,
yeah, like there's that one family. It's like a bunch of college-age dudes just sitting there watching. And they're like, did he just say that ain't his child? And she drives me wild. So that white guy's going down to bang this black girl. I'm like, damn.
It's fucking genius, man.
Oh yeah.
Or when they watch
black people react to Black Betty.
When they watch Beastie Boys and they're just like, what the like rapper watches Beastie Boys and they're just like, what the fuck is this? And it's like, yeah.
Oh, I seen the one where it was What You Want.
Yeah,
And
the one I
black
love
guy's
was
sitting there, and all of a sudden it just starts hitting, and the guy's like rapping. And so what
Yeah.
what you want?
what you
And
want?
he's just like, what the hell is this?
There's a stoner guy I love. He always rolls a joint when he does his reviews and reactions. And he put on Intergalactic for the first time. And when he gets to it, I always takes it back when I hear "ooh child." He's like, "What the fuck? What?" Nope. He stops and he backs it up. He's like, "Did I just hear him say ooh child?" You know, like he's just like fucking blown away
The
by it.
funniest one I saw was the guy that I bet you wonder where I am. You know, what's the name of the song? I just called to say hello.
I just
Love for you, and I can't.
No, I don't know what this is. You're talking about Stevie Wonder.
No, it's a white guy. And I
I don't
was
know what the
watching a
song is.
dude watching at the video, and when he realized it was a white guy singing, the dude paused it and called his mom. And he's like, "Mom, you know that song?" And he's like, "Did you know that was a white guy?" And then he's like, and you never told me? Yeah, Bobby Caldwell. Bobby Caldwell always gets them.
Speaking
Uh,
of Stevie Wonder, has anyone ever gone
in the
down to
shadow.
Stevie Wonder is not really blind rabbit hole?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, because the Jackson dude. So he decided to pretend to be blind
Yeah.
so they wouldn't send him to prison.
And there's some people like celebrities who have met him who have said like, I don't know. He's like made comments about stuff people were wearing and like all this like weird
The
stuff.
best though, the best Stevie Wonder stuff is whenever you get him and Eddie Murphy together. Like it's so fucking funny the way Eddie Murphy fucks with him. It's just like it's so good.
The best is when you get Eddie and Charlie together, because Charlie
listen.
literally threatened to beat the shit out of a dude in a wheelchair for talking shit to Eddie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Stories.
So Eddie had to let Charlie go and put him in a different position, a different paid position, because he realized that Charlie was a little bit too hood to be hanging
Well,
out.
as
Stars and
what's
shit.
his name? Darkness, everyone. Darkness is descending.
Oh my god! Cocaine
The
is
Rick
a hell of
James
a
stories
drug.
are hilarious.
You understand? See, like this was before Wesley Snipes, so Hollywood ain't never seen nobody as black as us. You know?
And then you'd be like, why would I grind my muddy boots on that couch? And then like 5 minutes later, he's like, yeah, I ground my muddy boots on that couch.
They should have never given you ninjas money.
They just punched him in the legs and he had to drag himself out.
Charlie Murphy doing karate like a little schoolgirl.
Oh man. Those
Apparently-
but then
apparently-
again, Chappelle is probably
Chappelle's the
one
goat.
of the funniest
Chappelle is
guys.
100% the goat. But what's his name? Rick James, in his final years, apparently he loved showing that episode. He would show that to people every time they came over because he just thought it was the coolest fucking thing ever. So you know what? Got to give the guy the credit. You know, like he died because he fucking
took the
abused
joke.
his body.
There was a guy, a local politician down here years ago who was named Rick James, just completely incidental white guy, and he had on all the signs, I'm Rick James, bitch."
Oh,
He was
well, at least he
running
didn't
for
put
mayor
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
somewhere.
Well, I
Vote
mean,
Rick
it's
James.
Florida, so we do shit like that. But oh yeah. When Rick James punched Charlie Murphy in the forehead and he had that unity stamped into
Unity.
those
Yep.
mean, those were good times. But back to the original topic Bear had brought up. I am glad, even though I'm not going to go see it in theaters, I am really glad the Superman is good. It's about damn time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a good Superman. You know, it's like they either get a good actor to be Superman, but a shitty script, or the script's okay, but the Superman sucks.
For me,
Yeah,
I don't think there's I don't know. I haven't liked Superman movies in a long time. I remember I went to see the Zack Snyder one, and I'm sitting in the theater with my buddy, and I just turned to him halfway through and I went, "Oh, I get it." He goes, "What?" I went, "It's Space Jesus versus Space Hitler." I get it. And then the next shot is Superman floating with his arms spread away from the ship, and I'm like, ta-da! Like, fuck.
Well, I mean, you should already got that because when whoever invented Superman did so, that's what he was doing.
No, he wasn't. Yeah, and I will correct
He
you
was
on that.
he was
It was
inventing
Siegel and Schuster, and it was actually
Immigrant.
Abraham. It's Abraham, not Jesus.
Wasn't he initially envisioned as a villain?
Yes, the reign of the Superman, but the actual Superman character we got was not based on Jesus. It
But
was
he
about
was the immigrant good guy.
Moses. Sorry, it was about Moses. It was about Moses basically being sent to live with Pharaoh. That was the whole reference. That's what they were doing. It's two Jews, man.
Well, that makes sense since they were Jewish.
Yeah, Siegel and Schuster. But
Yeah.
over time, in the 50s, Superman became Jesus. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
that's-
everything does.
Yeah.
On a long enough timeline, right?
Yeah.
on a timeline, everything becomes fucking gray ooze.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I still like
But-
Solid.
So yeah, I mean, I don't want to see a dark, conflicted Superman. I want to see the Man of Steel whipping ass and being a good guy.
I want to see someone have the balls to do a Batman movie, right?
Right?
But wink and nod to 60s Batman.
Oh yeah, throw in a couple of batarangs or some shit.
Just have that dynamic, you know, like just not make it dark and grim. You
Just
know?
That was
whatever you
where
do,
I
don't put
discovered
nipples
camp.
on
I
the
remember
bat
being a
suit
little kid
because-
watching the reruns of that, and he's doing the surfing thing with the
Yeah.
Bermuda shorts over it, and I'm like, "What the hell?" Because at this point, I was taking it totally seriously. I was like 5, and then he pulled out the bat shark repellent from. His
That's in the
utility
that's in the Batman movie they made back in like the late 60s. And there's that great scene where he's got the bomb and it's like a round bomb with a
Like-
fuse, no less. And he runs and there's a bunch of school kids and he runs and there's a bunch of nuns and he has the greatest line. He goes, "Some days you just can't seem to get rid of a bomb." It's just
Yeah.
like,
I remember seeing that.
And I love the penguin submarine with the flippers.
well,
Yeah,
I'll tell you
double
quick,
time.
I really liked it. I liked the Superman a lot.
Well, like I said, I'm glad.
No,
Glad
they
you had a
actually
good
did
time.
have
I was torn between watching Superman and 28 years later.
Yeah.
You know what, Bears? The 90s Batman actually had a nod to the old 60s
Yes, but
Batman.
it was the 90s and it was too early.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We need to do it now, right?
Uh,
and then see how people react to it. Because I actually love Clooney as Batman.
You know
I mean,
what
I-
would be a good
Oh.
movie if they would do it? Would be The Dark Knight Returns.
Wait, I think you
And
misunderstood.
like go hard with it. You know what I mean? Like Superman's like Batman's dying, Superman stopping nuclear wars.
Yeah,
Like-
I don't.
Wait,
I don't
Bear, I
think-
think you misunderstood.
new-
I was talking about the 90s Batman cartoon that did the nod to
Oh,
that.
animated Batman is nothing like the '60s Batman. Batman the animated
No, I'm
series.
just
no,
saying they had a nod to it because they had
Oh, yeah, yeah.
actually Adam West perform another character. who
Yes,
was-
he played the character that inspires him to become the Phantom. No, what the fuck?
it was the Phantom who inspires
The Gray Phantom or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, the Gray Phantom. Yeah, which is because
become,
they couldn't
and
use
it, and it
Zorro.
inspired Bruce Wayne to become Batman.
You
I
know.
think my favorite animated season one was where everybody thought that no name nobody killed Batman. And the Joker went through this like freaking roller coaster of whether he wanted to kill himself or not. And then he decided to kill the guy that killed Batman because it pissed him off so bad.
Yeah.
And then Batman come back because he hadn't been killed at all. You know, it was just so weird, you know? It was like,
the best episode of Batman the animated series, hands down, is the one called "Almost Got Him."
Almost
With all
got,
the
yeah, that
villains
one was good.
Sitting
Yeah.
around talking about the time they almost got Batman, and
I
Killer
threw a
Crow's
rock
like,
at him.
one time I threw a rock at him, and they all
was a big
stare at him
rock.
like, "What the fuck?" And he goes, "It was a big rock."
And that was just, to be even better, that was just Batman in
It was just
disguise.
Batman in a costume to catch the ball. But yeah, Almost Got Him's a pretty damn good episode.
Yeah.
yeah, they used to make good cartoons a long time ago.
Yeah, I used to.
Used to, yeah.
They really did.
Like, I had the fortune of growing up in the 70s, so I got to see all the good 60s cartoons and all the good stuff in the 70s, and then I lived through the 80s when Reagan went, no, you can do half-hour toy commercials. And it was like, yay!
Yay.
And then the 90s, where American animation started to catch up a little bit and understand it could be a little more adult, a little more whatever. And then the early 2000s, where we got stuff like, it started to get a little even more edgy, and we got some really cool shit like Symbionic Titan or Samurai Jack, and then Archer and fucking Venture Brothers and all that good stuff too. Now, ugh.
When?
In a couple hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I miss the 90s.
So that
Thank
said,
you.
Rick and Morty.
For the warning.
I've been watching the new season without Justin Roiland, and I don't hate it.
So
I never got into Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
just
care
never
for it
did
that
it
much.
for me.
I liked it.
Rick and Morty fans made me not want to like Rick and
God,
Morty.
the Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah, no, that's my. You never heard me say this, James, about this? My thing with Jesus, right? It's not Jesus I have a problem with; it's his fans. You know, like I like Jesus. His words are wisdom. It's the crazy fucking Christians I have the problem with. Well, it's the same thing. Rick and Morty. I like Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty fans annoy the living shit out of me. You know, like that's just the way it is. But yeah, I feel you on that.
Okay, I get you. I get where you're coming from. Respectfully disagree, but also
No, listen,
respectfully agree.
you're not a Jesus fan. You're a Christian. Do you understand the difference, sir?
Well, I'm a guy that would love to be able to live like him, but I know I never will.
Right. But again,
But I'm trying hard.
you're a Christian. That's different than being like an evangelical Bible thumping Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh yeah. We can agree on that. But
That's the point.
yeah, it was always like the Rick and Morty guys you've seen on videos jumping up on like counters and demanding Szechuan sauce and shit like that.
There was one guy, by the way. I saw a thing about this recently. There's one guy. He wasn't even a fucking Rick and Morty fan. He was just a fucking vlogger type guy, and he was doing it to try and get attention. And he accidentally, because the media ran with it, became the face of all Rick and Morty fans for everyone. And like people fucking hated him in the community. Do you mind, sir? I'm trying to.
I don't
talk
think
to
he
my
was
friend.
the only one that did that made people.
He was the
angry.
first one that did it, and then other people started mocking, imitating him, sir.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
literally just watched a documentary about this last week. It was really interesting to see. It was about the rise and fall of Rick and Morty as a series, and it was actually a really interesting watch to see all the stuff. But that guy got a special mention.
But was it really him that got people to go, "Oh, I'm super smart because I watched Rick and Morty"? Though.
No, that was a different.
No, that
group.
was a whole other thing.
Yeah, it was a whole other thing.
Okay, I was like, that didn't make any sense. Those people were the ones that made me not like Rick and Morty fans.
Because it's
Well,
like
It's a
you watch an
cartoon.
episode of Rick and Morty, and now you think you understand physics. I'm not sure that's how that works.
Yeah.
Well,
But hey, I mean, you do you, man. Whatever. But I've seen a couple of episodes. I mean, and they weren't terrible. I seen one episode where apparently they never even showed the episode. It's like in the beginning, they went somewhere, but they didn't show where they went, and then they came back.
oh, they've done that many times.
And they're
Yeah,
like
they do
so
that a
happy
lot.
about whatever it was they had done, and then some other thing happens, and they got to deal with that thing.
Thank you.
And it's just like,
Beans, get comfortable.
it's like what's happening here? You know, it's like,
Okay, claws out
but
of my
nothing
throat.
on TV will ever beat Community when they're all playing D&D.
Yeah.
That shit was the greatest.
We gonna talk about this hate crime?
Yeah, I am Bartolomox or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Magic user, baby.
Yeah, Drow Elf magic user, baby. And what's his name shows up, Chevy Chase. Okay, you can cast the polymorph spell on him. What do you want to change him to? And he's just like, fat. And everybody's just like, damn, man. And then like the one scene where they cut the music, but you see the girl explaining like,
Oh, and they play the music, but she's explaining the seduction of the Pegasus handler.
right.
My-
and all
my
the
buddy
dudes are
reads
taking
lips.
notes and shit.
My buddy reads lips, by the way. It's
Yeah.
quite the fucking graphic description she's giving.
Well, I mean, when she said,
Yeah.
you kind of knew what was going on there. Like
Yeah,
two,
exactly.
no, three fingers.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, you kind of got the idea that, you know, there was some shit happening, but
Probably one of the best episodes of Community, hands down, and it's the one you can't watch on repeat because people got upset about the drow thing.
yep. Which is so like, really?
Stupid? Oh, you mean stupid?
Yeah.
You mean the average fucking person in the United States of America is a fucking moron who is reactionary and doesn't think things through and jumps on bandwagons of hate and virtue signaling? No. Nothing in the last 10, 15 years of America has ever made me believe that could be true.
Well, there are some people that don't like thinking for themselves.
Sadly, your country is full of them, though mine is getting there too, so I shouldn't talk.
It just seems to be human nature.
Yeah.
How was 28 years later? I mean,
For me,
I'm
honestly,
assuming
much
since
thing
it's
yet.
28 years later, the zombie type creatures learn to like eat and drink water and shit.
Yeah, apparently they made a society or something. It's like primitive primal society, but apparently they have a society and like pecking orders and all this kind of shit.
Well, at that point, then can you really kill them? Because
Yeah. Well, there's a whole bunch of guys at the end you learn about who are Jimmy Savile impersonators.
Ooh.
Yeah.
oh, I remember hearing something about him. Wasn't he like big in English TV there for a
He
while?
was. He
Huge.
did Top of the Pops. He started out as a radio guy, then became this big philanthropist. He got knighted. But all along, everybody knew he was a freaking kitty diddler.
Yeah.
And it
He
was
had a
kept
bunch of
quiet.
shows where he would hang around, like really make teenage girls and preteens uncomfortable with the way
Yeah, and
behaved.
he flaunted it at times. He outright flaunted it, but nobody would say anything. And sadly he died before it became fully public and people
Well, he was
talked
friends
about it.
with the Queen. Like he was friends with the royal family and stuff.
Yeah, he was like their social advisor. He like met with them to like tell them, oh, you should do this, this, and this. Yeah, he was like their PR guy.
Well, you
He's
know how
buddies with Margaret Thatcher.
some
which
of the
I've always
British
got
are.
respect for.
They would rather not, rock the boat too much. That would be, impropriety and all that. Best to just, let things go. But yeah, I heard about him. But I mean, my favorite British guy is always going to be David Icke.
I love David Icke, man.
Yeah, that guy is so fun. I remember when Canada banned him.
Not Canada, British Columbia.
Yeah.
And there's actually a documentary about it where they show, like they talk to David while it's all happening as he's arrived in Vancouver to do his show, and then they talk to the three lawyers who go and try and shut him down. And these guys are just assholes. Like they don't come off well, even though they're trying to be clever. And after they succeed, they're all at a cafe together, having drinks. One of them's like, "Gentlemen, to evil," and they think they're so smug and funny. You know what I mean? And it's like, you accused him of shit that wasn't true, and because of your actions, now this is a thing he carries around his neck forever.
Right.
This idea that he's an anti-Semite. He's not an anti-Semite. And I think, James, you know how I feel about anti-Semites by this point. Like you've seen my reaction to them here in the
Well,
YouTube.
you're a lot. I mean, for someone who wasn't raised Jewish, you're a lot more sensitive about that shit than I am.
Well, it's a simple thing.
And I was actually raised Jewish and have Jewish relatives.
Listen,
And
I'm not pro-Israel. I'm not pro-Israel. I'm not anti-Israel. I don't care. Israel's a fucking government and it's a country. But the Jewish people have had enough shit at this point. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, really? Could we lay off the fucking Jewish people for a while now, please? Like, just give them a fucking century of no one giving them shit? That would be nice,
I don't know if that's going to happen, but
It's never going to happen.
Never
It's never
gonna
going to fucking happen.
I mean, it's nice that you wish that.
Well, I knew nothing about Jewish people until I moved to Montreal in 9th grade. And my best friend was a Jewish kid. I think I've told you this before. And when his family found out I was living with strangers, like boarding with strangers while going to school, that was it. I was over there for dinner 3 times a week, and every high holiday I was invited over for fucking the dinners and everything. There was just no way. They just completely adopted me as a human being. You know what I mean? Like no bullshit, no nothing. Just they did it. And I was like,
I'm going to tell you something that I think a lot of people forget. And that is that Jews, like Slavs, Germans, etc., come in a lot of flavors, from complete and total assholes that will sell your liver to practically saints.
Yes.
But for some reason, a lot of people want to pigeonhole them into, like, you know what I mean? And not even practically saints. I mean, half of the original saints were actually Jews. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, my Uncle Herbie, not a good guy. Hated my great-grandfather for not being Jewish. And caused my great-grandfather and my great-grandmother to divorce because of that.
Yeah.
Because of he was that kind of guy. But my great-great-grandmother was awesome. You know what I mean? Even though she was a little bit racist, but her racism was like weird. It was like her best friend was a black lady. They hung out all the time, but boy, they both hated the idea of race mixing. So like when my pops brought a black chick home one time, they both flipped out. You know what I mean? She would never eat meat and dairy together, but if you cooked a pork roast, she'd be right there at it. It's like, okay, whatever,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, my rule of thumb is if they believe in the Talmud, I'm not going to be their friend.
I don't give a fuck what people believe in. I give a fuck in what they do and their actions.
Right. And that's a completely fair way to live your life. And I'm not going to tell you not to.
Well, thank you.
My particular reasoning is because I understand the Book of Wisdom. I know what is in it, and I'm not a fan. So, believe me, your average Jewish guy, like I always say, Mr. Cohen down the block making pastrami sandwiches, he don't know what's in the Talmud either. You know what I'm saying? It's only a certain little group, the kind that like to dig tunnels under New York and shit. Now they know what's in the Talmud. And yeah, I'm just not down with that shit. That's all. That's it. Whatever.
Yeah, it's like I said, I give a fuck what people do, not what they say. Not what they think, not what they believe, but what their actions are.
I agree with you, not your echo. But America, at some point, we decided to embrace hate laws and things of that nature. And when you think about it, it doesn't make a lot of sense because, I mean, if you run somebody down and beat them up, it's obvious you hate them. I mean, you don't do that to someone you like. So
that's a smokescreen.
System of sentencing and shit is so anti-constitutional. But
that's all a smokescreen. What the purpose of hate crimes is not to protect anybody. It is to get to backdoor in the precedent that they can punish you for an opinion.
Right.
That's the entire point behind it.
So I'm not a huge fan of that either, Andre. It is not a good thing that we have adopted, but I mean, in Florida, there for a minute, they were trying to make it like super illegal to say anything negative about Israel or to join a group that is like boycotting Israel. And I don't know if it passed or not because I was like, that's weird. But
no, that got shot down.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, Now, how do I feel about Israel? I don't know. My Uncle Stephen lived there for a while. He thought Tel Aviv was wonderful. He loved it. Beautiful.
Eine Minuten bitte.
Yeah, I mean, beautiful beaches. You only got to run into the bunkers every now and then. I mean, whatever. But
Hey guys, I gotta go. I'll see you.
I will see you later.
Yeah, I got a bolt too. I got to go eat.
Okay.
Wow,
Catch you gentlemen later.
look at
Yep.
that.
I don't have to go for an hour
Nice.
because we're going to go to the tavern and eat some food. We got like a sports bar here that my wife and I love. Take the but you know, these things happen. What are you going to do?
Yeah, well, there you go.
There
That's
you go. You know,
I
I
hate
think
to do this, but I gotta go too because I gotta go make my supper. I didn't realize it was 5:00. Fuck.
right. I think, and I am not quoting Martin Luther King here when I say this, I'm quoting common sense, that you should just treat people the way they deserve to be treated.
People will tell you how
Actually,
they
you
want
should
to be
treat them
treated.
better than they deserve.
So it's people will tell you how they want to be treated. They may not use their words to do it, but they will tell you, this is how I want to be treated.
Yeah.
Treat them appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, if they're nice to you, be nice to them. Who cares?
And if they're an asshole to you, well,
be nice
walk
to
away.
them.
You want
Just
to be nice to them or
don't hang out
walk
with them.
away. Take your choice, but don't feed the fucking fire.
Right. You should always be nice to people who are mean to you. Just don't hang out with them.
Yeah.
And then everything would be awesome.
In a perfect world.
Yeah, well, I don't think we'll ever see it, at least not until the second coming or whatever. Which I know you don't necessarily believe in, but
I don't necessarily
about
don't
when
believe
it'll
in it
happen.
either. I don't necessarily don't believe in it. I just don't know. And that's what being an
yeah, you're
agnostic is all
agnostic.
about.
That
You
means
don't
you're
know.
intelligent.
It means I want proof. I have my beliefs, I have my theories, I have my thoughts, but I'm not going to buy anything until I see it. You know what I mean?
Well, I always take it as you got an open mind.
Absolutely.
Like maybe not. Maybe one day you'll become the biggest believer of all of us. Maybe not. You don't know.
Who knows? Who fucking knows?
There's a difference between being socially frowned upon and government enforced. I agree. I do not like the direction America takes a lot of times with these government enforced speech and thought crimes. However, you know what else I don't like? A bunch of rich upper middle class white women wearing keffiyehs and waving Palestinian flags.
Yeah, I agree on that. I got to run. I got to go make food. Bye.
Okay. I mean, I don't like that either. It's like anytime you see anything on TV and it's riots, it's always like really old people. It's like, did they empty a nursing home to have this riot? What is going on? So weird, you know? And then you got the idiots, the LGBT for Palestine. It's like, do you have any clue what would happen if you went there? Yeah, you'd play the Superman game really quick because they would 100% chuck your ass right off a building. Because that's what they actually do, and we know they do it. It's not like, they even try to hide it. I mean, when people tell you what they're going to do, maybe you should believe them, And it's not like they're ashamed of it at all. I mean, they point blank come right out and say, yeah, we're going to chuck these gay people off a building or hang them. Or if they're really progressive like Iran, they'll just force them to transition and then marry them off to some guy. That's how Iran got rid of their problem with homosexuals. They just transitioned them all and made them get married. Wow. That is some crazy shit. But hey, But it'll all get better, I think. But I am kind of that guy. I'm an optimist. So, and honestly, guys, I hope that in spite of all the stupid shit that goes on around us, I hope you guys can be optimists too for as long as possible. You know, just have faith in whatever you want that things are going to get better. And yeah, we have them over here though, Andre. I am not kidding you. I am not kidding at all. They'll be out in the middle of a college dorm area or out in the middle of the street waving a rainbow flag and a Palestine flag or a Hamas flag. And holding signs that, you know, queers for Palestine and shit like that. I kid you not. I mean, I know you live in Russia, so you're probably like, what? No, it's a true story. And it's like, you know, these are supposed to be our next generations, like leaders, inventors, like, you know, super geniuses and shit like this. And it's like, this is worse than 1984 that a human being could have both of these thoughts in their head at the same time. You know what they call that? Like cognitive dissonance or some shit. Like I'm pro-Palestinian, I'm pro-LGBT, but Palestinians want to kill all LGBT people because it's their religion. And Hamas is hardcore about that shit. It's like, what are you doing? You're not even like doing shit that would benefit you. I'm a pessimistic optimist. The glass is half full, but it's piss. Well, that is very flattering for you to say, Lee. You know, thank you. I tend to be, I just want to believe that deep down inside, people want to be good. And there might be situations that might make some people not necessarily behave right. But I really want to believe that that situation can be fixed. That's what I want to believe. Also, thoughts and prayers for your king. I heard he had cancer just the other day because I don't follow the royals. And, you know, that makes me sad. You know, I'm not saying I loved, you know, Prince Charles when he was the prince. I mean, Elizabeth has been the ruler of England for 50 something years of my life. Oh my God, did she reign a long time? Did she reign longer than Victoria? I don't know. But anyway, it's always sad when somebody's fighting cancer. I mean, I'm not happy. I mean, Biden's got cancer. That sucks. I may not agree with somebody politically, but damn, I don't wish cancer on them. I mean, that's not cool. So, on the other hand, I think that William will probably be a very good king. I could be wrong, though. I could totally be wrong. But William has always seemed like a really level-headed, decent chap. And he might make one hell of a king. And I hope that happens for you. I really do. I hope William steps in and straightens some shit out, especially with his little brother. Like William might need to snatch his little brother up and be like, I don't know what your problem is, little bro, but you need to get over it right now by order of the crown. You know, because I worry about Harry because it's like, can a woman's vagina be that good that you would betray your family, thousands of years of history, your entire damn country, give up your noble titles? It's like, does she have blackmail on him or something? Like, what in the hell is going on? I think those stoicism is a good thing. But then again, Andre, remember, I'm ROKOR, Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia. So stoicism and asceticism and things like that, fasting and stuff, I am a proponent of. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying I always do it, especially since, you know, I'm borderline diabetic. And you probably already know the church makes concessions. If you got issues, you know, you got issues, right? I mean, nobody's going to be forced to do something that might kill them in the name of, you know, a feast or a fast. But yeah, I think stoicism is a good thing. And I think that's what's going on in America, at least, is a lot of our young men. And I've said this before, a lot of your really young men are just craving structure. And they're craving a direction. They're craving a hierarchy, you know, something to live for, etc. And the benefits of this in America have been orthodoxy and Islam. So, you know, you've had a lot of 20-something men join orthodoxy, which is growing super fast in America. But on the other hand, a lot of them have joined Islam too, because even though I think Islam is a false religion, it still offers you the hierarchy, the freaking thing to live for, or in some cases for them die for, you know? And yeah. See, me, I've always had a purpose my whole life, whether it was fishing and doing whatever, helping my grandparents out, and then being in the army and doing the best I could in the army, and then being a vampire LARPer and trying to sleep with as many goth chicks as I could. I mean, I always set myself good goals, you know? Because some of those heavy hotties out there that a lot of dudes don't want to sleep with, I would, because it's only gentlemanly. You know what I mean? It's only gentlemanly. Like, why would you deny her, you know, the best 30 minutes of her life? Because, you know, for whatever reason. Is that lecherous? Yes. But at the time, I was not a Christian, so you'll forgive me. Lutheranism is basically Roman Catholicism without the Pope, but with all the other false doctrine. So it's not horrible. It's not a bad choice, but that's just really what it is. It's like the Germans got mad at the Pope for taxing the princes back when Germany was like 385 different countries, and they become Lutherans. Even though the founder of the damn religion never wanted to start a new religion. Like Martin Luther, it was never his intention to start a religion. He was just asking some really good questions about why the church does things that it does. And he wasn't wrong about most of them. And most of the stuff that he had a problem with, guess what? Doesn't exist in orthodoxy. It's not even something you would argue about. You know what I mean? So I would say Lutheranism is a good step on your way. And when you've gone as far as you can with Lutheranism, look for an Orthodox church. Yeah, because they wanted to kill him because he asked questions they didn't like, but he was right. That's the thing about Luther. He was right. Now, why they didn't just rejoin the mother church instead of creating a million false denominations, who knows? But that's what happened. You know, so it is what it is, you know? SOCKS. I am sitting here doing a light dusting of a sand color on these Harkonnen troopers so that their black armor looks not quite so flat. I may give it a like a watered down Nuln wash just to, and since this is fade, I'm definitely painting that cloak red. And if I have to, I will freehand a black Harkonnen symbol in the middle of it. Now, I wish I knew how to make hair. I would give him a head full of orange hair so that he looked more like a Sting, since Sting is my favorite fade. To be brutally honest with anybody who cares, and I don't expect anyone to actually care, but yeah, Sting. I will kill him. Who's the little pet? Will she deserve my special attention? I love Sting in the 86 Dune. I've said this a million times. I'll keep saying it. You could tell that dude was having the time of his life playing that character. It was like all of the actors they hired to play the Harkonnen, the main three, you could tell they were loving it. They were just going over the top with that shit. And when you see actors playing roles and having a great time, it makes you enjoy it more, All I see is an Atreides that I want to kill. Oh no, Fade. Thufir's a Harkonnen now. Yeah, I appreciate all the Dune versions for different reasons. It's like 86 Dune is the most like spiritual and epic and whatever. Sci-fi Dune is definitely the most closest to the book. And then the new Dunes have the best effects. You know what I mean? They have absolutely amazing effects. And for the most part, except for maybe a couple of places, they have really good casting. Like the guy from Star Wars, I can't remember his name, but that played Duke Leto in the new one. Yeah, it is. I mean, I am a slop painter. You know what I mean? There was a time when I worked really hard to paint everything like Games Workshop White Dwarf quality. And at some point in my life, Lee, I said, F that shit. I need to put colors on 100 figures. And, if that means some block painting, some dry brushing, and hitting them with some Nuln Wash or Agrax Earthshade, that's just how shit's going to go. Because at the end of the day, the only person I'm trying to impress with my painting of miniatures is me. So if I set these Harkonnen down on the table and I look at them, I'm like, damn, they look kind of badass. Well, I have succeeded at my job, my good sir. And that's just how it is. Yeah, Deckard, I mean, I don't even want to get going on that. I feel like I've ranted about that for hours on end. But Zendaya was the absolute worst choice they could have picked for Chani. They literally could have cast anyone else. Like they could have got a homeless meth head off of Hollywood Boulevard to play Chani, and it would have been better. The reason I tapped this to my tongue was my dry brush paint is basically dry. So I just give it a little tap to my tongue to give it a little bit of moisture. And in that way, I can get just a little bit more dry brushing out of it without having to mix up more paint. And since this is the last guy I'm doing, I don't want to have to mix up any more paint. I mean, there's some details I need to do. Like these guys are all wearing like ribbons tied around their arms and stuff like that. But yep. I think they want to make a trilogy out of the new one, but I was really disappointed at how much stuff they skipped to get to where they got in the second movie. You know, they skipped so much really important stuff. And supposedly it's because they want to show the actual jihad. But it's like, I don't know. I don't really care about the actual jihad. You know what I mean? I just wanted to see, you know, the rise of Paul Muad'Dib, not the Kwisatz Haderach. He was something different. Something that the Bene Gesserit had not accounted for. So, and then, of course, in the God Emperor of Dune, after he's blinded and sent out in the desert, of course he don't die. He becomes known as the priest or the preacher, you know. And yeah, sorry guys, spoiler, but the book's been out since like the 70s or 60s. Yeah, the preacher that they talk about in God Emperor of Dune and in Children of Dune, that's Paul. And he just wanders around the desert being Paul. And then when he finally meets Leto II, they have this whole conversation, and Leto talks about how he's going to walk the golden path. And the big problem with walking the golden path is it requires for Muad'Dib and his legend and everything to die. And eventually that's what happens. Paul sees the truth in it, and he allows himself to be killed. And then Leto completely tyrannizes humanity for 3,000 years, and then allows himself to be assassinated because unless he allowed himself to be assassinated, there was no way in all the hells that he would ever get assassinated. It just wasn't going to happen. He had to wait till the exact right time. And also by that time, I think Duncan, Idaho had been raised as a Gola a couple hundred times. It also was the rebirth of the sandworms. Following the yellow. Hey, Dungeon Master, how you been, man? I see you've been making shorts. Nice. Very nice. I like them. Not that you need my approval, but I like your shorts. You've made some good shorts. No, we were talking about God Emperor of Dune. The thing is Duke Leto II, when he looked at all of the probabilities of the universe, he realized that only by doing the thing he done, which was terrible, he was an absolute tyrant, but only by being an absolute tyrant would it keep humanity from going extinct. So Paul saw the golden path, but he wasn't willing to take it. And that's why Muad'Dib had to die, so that Leto could become the new. Now, by the time Leto allows himself to die, all the sandworm things that were on him, they burrow into the ground as sand trout, and they turn Arrakis from an Earth-type world back to Dune. But no one cares because they don't need spice anymore. The people of Ix had created navigation machines and stuff like that. So Arrakis just become a lonely world out in the middle of nowhere that no one really gave a damn about. Well, good. I mean, if you're not having fun doing your hobby, then why are you doing your hobby, right? Now, recently, and I don't know if I'll be able to bribe my wife into it or not. I picked up the Battle for Doom game. It's like 1 to 4 players, and it comes with a bunch of 28 millimeter miniatures, and it's supposed to represent, you know, the Harkonnen. It starts right after the Harkonnen have destroyed Iraq or Arrakeen and Atreides. So the different sides have different win conditions. Like the Harkonnen win if they can destroy all the Sieches, and the Atreides win if they can basically stop spice from flowing, because the spice must flow. Now, one thing about the game I really love is it comes with these great huge sandworm figures. Now granted, they're not to scale, because a 400-meter worm to scale would be, I don't know if I could fit it in this room, but what's up, Satya? How you doing? Oh, dinner's getting close. Yeah, the wife is going to take me and my brother-in-law to our local tavern. They make an amazing Cobb salad, so that's what I'll get, is a Cobb salad, with maybe French dressing or Catalina, something like that. And I'll get a unsweet iced tea, because where I grew up in Kentucky, we never drink sweet tea. A lot of people are always like Southerners and their sweet tea, and we're like, we never drank tea. We drank water. That's what we drank. We had a big pail of water that had one of those metal dipping things in it, and if you're thirsty, you ran in the house and grabbed a ladle out and drank it and put it back and went on. I mean, nowadays people would be freaking out about cooties, you know what I mean? But back then it was just the way it was. And I tell you what, that is the best tasting water I ever had. Came right out of the side of a cliff, right into, we had a cistern set up, and we had a hand pump, but in the wintertime, because you couldn't bury pipes too much, we'd have to walk down that hill to get the water in 5-gallon buckets. And man, that water I never had water taste so good. Yeah, the Dungeon Minister. He is he is a famous guy, Dungeon Minister, for all the right reasons. He is a good guy, well respected in, I think, all corners of the internet, for all the right reasons. Unfortunately, I can't be as good as he is. I still have way too many passions I have to learn to control. But, we try. Yeah, everything pretty much is far away from Finland. It's like Finland exists in its own dimension or something, Satya. It's like, I want to go somewhere. Well, your choices are Sweden, Russia, Estonia, Latvia, or Lithuania. That's basically it. That's your choices. That's where you get to go. Or you can go to the North Pole and, hang out with reindeer and polar bears. Hey, I'm not just trying to butter you up, buddy. If I said it, I meant it. See, me, I have a lot of friends in a lot of corners of the internet. Like, I know that I can count Double D. I can count the Angry Gamer. But unlike the Dungeon Minister, I also have a lot of people who hate my guts. So, and it's only my fault, because sometimes I get on a subject and I'm passionate about it, and I say a bunch of stuff that is maybe not, politically you know, anybody wants to hear. And, you know, you end up getting called all kinds of names. But I mean, if you're me, you don't care. You know, you just make fun of them. You know, like on X when they called me a fascist, so I changed my profile picture to Generalissimo Francisco Franco. It's like, do you think I care? I don't care. We're going to the Norwegian fjords to see some orcas next year. Can't wait. That, man, dolphins are my number 2 creature on the planet, and orca are just a really big dolphins. So jealous. Now, before you guys have to ask, some of you might even know this. My number 1 animal on the planet, and I'm not counting humans, is river otters. I absolutely love river otters. Like, if I believed in such a thing as a spirit animal, mine would be a river otter, for sure. They just always look like they're having the best time. So, and on that note, I have, for a sci-fi or maybe a post-apocalyptic game, a anthropomorphic river otter with a wrench. Like he or she, because who knows, is getting ready to fix something broke in the starship. And that could either be a mutant for Gamma World, or that could be an uplifted river otter. You know, that some human society thought it'd be a good idea to uplift river otters. I mean, if you were colonizing a water world, river otters would be they'd be the stuff, man. You know what I mean? They're good at swimming. You played an otter in the Gamma World game? That's so awesome. That's what Hungar made for his character when we made Gamma World characters. I don't know if we'll ever play the game, but every now and then I just like to get a feel for like what kind of characters people would play in certain games. So yeah, Hungar was definitely, he said, mutant river otter. And I was like, yeah, makes sense. That's his favorite animal too, the both of us. Like one of my happy places is when my wife took me to Tennessee. They have a giant aquarium there, and they have a program there where they have brought the Appalachian river otter back from damn near being extinct. And we got to go and see it. And I'll tell you what, I was like a kid in a candy shop. Like, she's like, oh yeah, the otters are on the 2nd floor, man. I was run up there and watch those otters. And man, Otter von Bismarck. That's good. That's good. I like that. I mean, Gamma World, I guess you shouldn't take too seriously anyway. Now, of course, since my name was mentioned on the Double D show, I did end up picking up the Viking game. And yes, you could use it to simulate a game of the early Rus traveling down the rivers towards Constantinople. It's a good game. I mean, if you have read Baptism of Fire, well, guess what? It's that, except instead of Poles, it's Vikings. The other thing, though, that I got that I didn't expect to get, because I didn't even know it was out, is Kevin Crawford put out Ashes Without Number, which is his OSR of a post-apocalyptic game. And Otter do better. Yeah, right? So I, of course, I mean, I have this habit of if Kevin Crawford puts it out and it's a without number game, I buy it. So, you know, I know nothing about him, but anyway, all that said, guys, I'm going to take off so that as soon as my wife says we're going to eat, I can dress appropriately and be ready to go. Thank you for hanging out. It was good to see you, Lee, especially, and Dungeon Minister, Satya, all of you. It was great, hanging with you for a while. And I will show you before we go, so you'll know. I got about 15 of these painted. And you can see, I decided to do their face plates like a red bronze color. But these are, of course, Harkonnen troopers. My Atreides are right there. And unfortunately, when I ordered the things, the guy forgot to send me the Sardaukar. So I had to send him a message, and he's sending me the Sardaukar, and he said he'd throw in the Baron and Lady Jessica and whatever just for the hassle. So the Sardaukar, I already have some that I 3D printed. They're super easy to paint since you only paint them white, and then you put like the white wash on them, and then you paint their face plates glossy black with silver around it and paint their weapon. And if you feel really, really motivated, you can paint like the inside of their legs, like a leather color. And the Sardaukar he's sending me comes with the one that was talking in the movie. So he's standing there with his sword and his helmet, and he's got like the beard, and the one that Peter DeVries talks to, and he's all like, "We serve the Emperor," and all that. So if we actually play the Dune game, and it looks more and more like we will, if battles happen, we'll have a few miniatures. This might be Hungar's character from the Lesser House Becca. It started its life out as a ODST trooper sergeant, and I cut his head off, and I put the head of Vlad Tepes on him. So, you got a guy in power armor, but he's got the long wavy hair. He's got his, I guess we could say that's a drill gun. And for those of you who don't know, drill guns are basically, they're a special kind of weapon that generally has a very small magazine, but the darts they shoot are actually powered instead of like using compressed air or whatever to send them down the barrel. So if your opponent is wearing a shield and you shoot them with a drill gun, when the drill hits the shield, instead of deflecting off or something, it'll stick and slowly drill through. So if you're wearing a Holzman shield, the last thing you want to see is a bunch of guys with drill guns. So anyway, peace and love, guys. Catch you guys later. I need to go be a good